the handling of criminal issues via out-of-court settlements. So just to keep it into context, person A murders person B, but instead of facing maybe a fine, is there a penalty like a fine for murder?
No fine
It's
for
the
murder.
death penalty. Life imprisonment.
Yes.
So instead of these penal consequences, they settle out of court, they reach out to the family of the deceased.
Alafu tukusikize tu hivyo.
Na mazuri, mapesa mawantu.
Explain.
Useme, I also really loved your child, but
Mungu alimpenda zaidi.
and then you say Nyiha wants to burst.
Unajua Nyiha, okay, Jerry, some things are not just meant to be settled outside the court. However much we might say alternative dispute resolution is here, it can't settle some matters, and that's why you have court system. The last time I told you, we must always appreciate we have a working and an established court system.
But now the Kenyan courts are trying to form some jurisprudence here that is very, very interesting. I would love to see Nyiha's reaction, and of course the rest of our viewers are outside there.
I'm impartial, please.
Hapa ndio unakuwa impartial.
Credit me of my impartiality.
We are all impartial at the end of the day. So back in 2013, to cite the case for those who may want to go and read it, of course on the new Kenya Law website, Republic versus Liiras. It was one murder encounter. I think it was this Cushitic communities. Their child was, I know if I say child, it doesn't mean ako underage or something. Maybe. I'm avoiding language that Nyiha. But let us put.
Nini mnanionea?
Acha kusema na.
Jerry.
Sawa. Nitasema ukweli vile iko. Okay, the daughter of a family just in one of the Cushitic families was murdered by this one Liiras. The matter was taken to court, but in court the accused said that, you know what, by the way, we had agreed we are settling this out of court.
And it's murder, bro. And
yes, the court accepted the out of court settlement. I think it was camels and goats and
Hapo Nyiha kikasirika. I'll also say
Nachemka.
it is valid.
and the court appreciated the need of having traditional dispute resolution.
In murder case, bro.
Murder
Even
case.
In a
Yes.
murder case.
That is diabolical.
Someone's life, kijana.
In 2014, in the case of Republic versus Noah Mohammed, the court said some felonies are just for the court setting. So we see a variance in jurisprudence in what the courts are actually saying. Then later, in the case of Republic versus Julius Mwikali, the court says ADR is here and it is staying, and we should try to embrace it even for criminal cases, even for felony, those serious cases. And so this was a very, allow me to say, pregnant area of discussion that we would love to dive in. And also our viewers, you feel free to comment. But I just want to know your thoughts on this. Personally, I can say that I'm with the jurisprudence that is being set, that it can, I mean,
Inaweza. Yes, we can.
inaweza. It can be settled out of court. I was talking with a friend, and I'm sure you'll start questioning my friend groups. He was telling me, you know what, by there I'm for the idea of out of court settlement.
Yeah.
The older I get, the more I realize you can't, as in, die before you have killed someone, either directly or indirectly.
Jerry, please.
So, what is that indirect death?
Maybe you are in Mandamano and the bullet was meant for you and you
No.
you moved to the side.
I'm not the killer, man.
Yeah,
It was
exactly. You're not.
I'm not the killer. That's not the perfect example to use.
Now that is indirectly.
It's not, bro. I'm not the killer.
Nimeanza kuquestion hii friend group ya. Wacha hadi friend group. Jerry mwenyewe.
No. The examples anatumia za kushoot and stuff killing.
Okay. No, if we call my friend here, he'll be in a better position to explain.
Who's that?
I can't explain indirect death, but then I wondered if this is how this guy is thinking, there is something here
You're
that
next.
thoroughly needs to be discussed.
When utapata his direct.
Because okay, I can go it back. You know, criminal prosecution is to balance public interests, not even the interests of the private people. But you come a situation where your family doesn't even want to complain. Okay, let alone even murder. What is another felony?
Robbery with violence.
Okay, the family doesn't want to complain. They know this is the guy who did this and this and this. They don't want to complain. They just want, can we settle this outside court? Kila mtu aendelee na shughuli yake.
Jerry,
And at the end of the day, yes, I'm getting there. I'm understanding. Public interest overrides in criminal prosecution. But what if one of the ways a case can be thrown out is if the complainant withdraws the complaint. So if they can settle out of court and the complainant withdraws the complaint, I see it's even the law is providing for that. But so now I will open the floor to the rest and do not attack the person. Attack what
the
they say.
message.
now let me start attacking the message. Number one, Jerry.
Let's see, you started attacking the person.
I'm attacking the message. Okay, as you said, does that make sense? I really
As you
appreciate.
clearly spelled out.
Thank you. As you said, I also give ADR a very warm reception and accept the thing in the criminal.
Si tunaweza malizia hiyo podcast.
I really appreciate it is here to be incorporated in our criminal proceeding. However, my stand still remains. There are some matters that need court scrutiny. And you cannot tell me a matter that entails murder, robbery with violence, and other stuffs. We can just settle them outside the court. Nyiha, oh, not Nyiha, Jerry, it won't bring out the outcome that is desired. But I feel like we have some issues, some crimes, and I know some people think all the crimes, ukiongelea criminal matters, they're all the same. No, we have the economic crimes and other crimes. So we have those crimes that they can be dealt with when in a DR format. I was reading some article, and a part of the crimes that were being stipulated that can be settled outside the court, mostly those that are in a community where there's that close-knit community and something arises that is not maybe murder and other vitu ndogo ndogo tu, such things, they can be settled outside the court, and there's so much possible. But when it comes to hizi zingine, acha tu tuende na the traditional court system. Kukikuwa na economic crime, there's IEACC ama imefanya nini and stuff, and the director of public prosecution is meant to institute the criminal proceeding. Let them do that. We don't have to say at you, we'll deal with this outside the court. No, if something needs court scrutiny, let's not engage with nisemeaje, kuna tu zile zenye they're meant for this, easy to petty stuff hizo, juu hata zinajezanga koti tu, ati aliiba nini and stuff, alikuwa kwa supermarket akaiba kamkate, unampeleka kituka hiyo. Usijiulize tu mbona anaiba, akonja ni nini, sumpe kazi hapa akona kufagilia tuka hizo. Settle tu outside. Like hizo tu ni tukae chini tuongee, tujue tunasaidiana aje.
Tuongee.
I leave the floor to Nyiha.
Before also Nyiha talks, I was perusing through the topic with my friends, and they were saying, in fact, if we do that, we will make murder a very normal thing in the society.
Yeah.
Because we kill this person, tafuta family members.
Skia.
Anataka milioni 10.
And someone is dead, bro.
Tunapanga hivyo namna hii namna ile ingine.
And that's it. Na tunakumaliza.
So just Tunya, maybe you can build it up from that. Is it a leeway? And also just your general thoughts and opinion on it.
First of all, my opinion starts where I think trying to equate someone's life to any form of value is very sijui, beyond hata sijui. I can't even describe it, because someone's life is valueless, it's priceless, you can't put a tag on it. Kwa hivyo nikiona my family some family members pinning a value to someone's life, that is diabolical, outrageous, shocking. I'm just
what if it's not murder? Because there's another case actually.
Or if it's not actually,
there's another case for a sexual offense. And,
hey. It gets worse.
You're at to negotiate.
And the family was paid off handsomely. They settled handsomely.
Mimi, to be honest, I also I'm relatively open to the concept of ADR, but it must have its limits. Mm-hmm. You have talked about public interest. Mm-hmm. Mimi na imagine there are some things you do. Now I'm talking just like a normal human beings. Kuna vitu unafanyia mtu, hujamfanyia very, like, even when you have a disagreement and maybe you have said some things, you mishandled yourself, you spoke out of anger. If you have a reasonable conscience, you sit down and think about it. Unaona yenyewe, what did I do to that person? What did I tell that person? Was that even right? So I can imagine the kind of person who takes it to kill someone. How do they even live with themselves? Like, that person already messed up to some sort of mental sijui, I don't know how to put it. So like, that person is a threat, because if you can live with yourself after killing one person, you'll live with yourself after killing 2, 3, 4,
and it could do normal thing
na itakuwa a normal thing. And sasa hata ukijua, you can look for Baba Nyiha, and uzuri najua Baba Nyiha is kubali. But like, thinking that you can go and locate someone's family members, and like, what is even there to talk about?
And
The only thing I can talk about is if you can bring back me, whoever I can't even.
But just,
I think we were,
for the purpose of justice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I watch these movies and I see this, even not even movies plus real life judgments. Mtu akienda like jail for murder, ako tu yani, there's nothing that has been done. I really don't see any justice there. Anaenda tu atakuwa anakula chakula free, analala fit.
Acha ni kuna a sort of
anamnyima tu freedom.
Kuna a sort of inaitwa nini, kuna some sort of punishment of being confined in one place for a period of time. Inakwanga na its own tinge. I don't know kama ni mimi peke yangu. For example, when I was,
but
let me give you an example
of when
I was. The prison
system is supposed to be transformative and facilitating.
It's also punitive. That is also an objective while sending people. I don't know if ushaikuwa, let me use my example personally. Kama when I was in high school, hiyo venye mlikuwa mmekanishwa place moja, hamtoki.
Can you say that's punishment?
It's not punishment, but I'm trying to give Jerry like kuna that impact, kuna that sort of punishment aspect that comes with you not having your freedom. Like, ebu imagine being confined to one area for the rest of your life. And then I can imagine, hata kama unakula food ya free, is that food or is that something you put into your system so that it doesn't shut down? Is it necessarily
unajua the same time tunasemangi mwokolea watu wengine
nini hiyo?
Hiyo jail ule unaona tuseme kama mtu talent yako ni usingizi, uni kumwokolea
Usitumie akili next week.
But there are also some cases of people who just want to go to prison.
Sindo nasema
That person has nothing to lose. So hadi you are there happy, he's been convicted and he's there happier. In
like,
fact, amesikia judgment akasema
Yes.
justice imekuwa sometimes. And it leads me to
Inaweza kuwa so crazy.
unajua I once asked someone juu wanasemanga if someone acha nitumie sex defilement, someone has defiled a child.
Sex defilement yani gani?
Babangu ni msoto.
I know it's getting hotter.
Ni msoto.
Compose yourself.
I swear ni msoto. Nafikiria vile nitapata pesa so nitumie kitu. I'll be okay. Anyway, let's nitumie example nyingine. Someone has murdered someone. So initially the punishment it's supposed to be equivalent to the harm done. See no? But there is no sufficient punishment that can be equated to the harm done, right?
Unajua kulikuwa na death penalty.
Na nakuanga staunch believer
Of
death penalty.
of the death penalty.
I don't think it's also I don't think
Even
two
for
rights.
treason.
When I usianze mambo yako.
Jerry just old.
Tunaongelea serious matters, we are letters mambo gani hapa?
Ngoja mkikuwa kwa ADR alafu sasa unaweza sema
No, ADR is different.
But I think it depends on the crime. Kuna crimes zingine too, like you have said, it's a very tedious and long process for nothing.
Sindio,
kama huyo mtu akuiba mkate, that's a different thing. But I think for some certain crimes, kama hiyo robbery with for the felonies, hizo please ADR out of the window. Hata the government haifai hata iallow. I think, and I also think unajua your provision it's very loose, the one for ADR haiko confined to,
it doesn't,
it's very
they
loose.
give
I think
public policy
exactly
as a reason.
They should confine some crimes. I think some kitu kama murder, robbery with violence, at attempted murder. Let's talk about sexual offenses. You know, once someone starts, you can't, I don't even understand how people bring themselves to, I won't even talk about it today.
You're forgetting treason.
And treason.
Wait,
and treason.
It reminds me something. I know it's so random,
Attempted
but I had
coup.
forgotten. I was actually to ask you at the start. Nilikuwa nauliza nimejifunza nini wiki. But I'll tell you what nimejifunza wiki. As you know, I'm a staunch subscriber of podcast. Now there's this favorite podcast I listen to inaitwa Global Story. Leo kumekuwa na hiyo wrap up ya Spotify imekuwa ranked hapo. Now recently there was a bill.
You still use Spotify?
No, it's not mine.
Wewe na boom play yako. Boom play sijui hizo na hiyo ingine ya kusema hivi kwa simu alafu niimbe nitangwa shawama Shazam
Apple Music.
Anyway, this is the thing. God nikwambie. I know you are a controversial person, so it will suit you.
The neutral.
So there's a bill that was introduced in UK about the assisting dying and euthanasia thing. So it actually helped me understand there's a difference between assisted dying and euthanasia, and the other in criminal, that intentionally assisting someone to die. So this bill is proposing for it to be legalized, assisted dying. But there's a procedure for that. I think number one, lazima kukuwe na madaktari mbili to establish that the dying person actually will not survive that long. Number two, it has to get court's permission, like mnapia before koti. So kuna kufa, koti pia lazima determine are you actually in a dying position. But you just listen to that and you look into that. But there's another bill in Belgium. So this bill is legalizing sexual workers, in that sexual workers apewe insurance,
pension.
Hadi
na off.
You saw that? No?
Yeah, I have seen it.
Akwe na maternity leave. Yani bro.
Though, wacha nikwambie Collins.
Yeah.
There's a difference between the sex work and the offense. What the main issue kwa the offense inakwanga consent actually. Consent na to some, like kama for example for the children nitangaji kwa law sasa kutumia the term pedophilia, like the molestation and defilement. Okay, you know, having relations with a child is unacceptable. Luni mtu hailewi kitu anafanya. But sasa sex workers, I won't really, that's an issue of morality. That's an issue to be debated. That's an issue of morality. Sindio, siyo ni issue of atikazi ni kazi.
I tell you,
Jerry mambako ni
I've sneezed.
Jerry ni customer.
I think he might even draft a bill. Kenya sisi tunapenda kanisa. So
yes.
Anyway, I think to wind up, we'll come shortly to have our legal curiosity. But let us know your thoughts on ADR in Kenya. ADR jamani.
Alternative dispute resolution.
My dad has used him soto. Anyway, na pia the bill in Belgium and UK, you can just check it out, maybe review it, alafu tuambie what do you think about it. Na ikiletwa Kenya, what will be the consequences? This is Sharia Hub, your go-to legal talk show. My name is Collins. See you in a bit. Welcome back to Sharia Hub, your go-to legal talk show where we get to dissect and legal intricacies. Jerry, unaongea sana. Unakaa mbali na mic. Kaa mbali. Watu wa North Carolina.
Umezoea waya.
Anyway, welcome back. Zirata miss juni kusaidiaje sasa. Anyway, ni sawa. But welcome back. Nyiha, ini part yako hii. Uko na yapi ya kutuambia? Ile umepekwa sheria, uko na yapi ya kutuambia? What do you have for us today?
I found a very interesting act today as I was doing whatever I was doing. Mental Health Act of 2012. And actually, the 2012 is like an amended one. It was first established in 1991.
Wakati kulikuwa na ile katiba mzee.
And
ngoja mababu zetu pia walikuwa na stress. Si ya kugongea.
Sijui kugongewa ni nini, Collins. I do not know.
What is that?
What is that,
I
please?
even don't know. It is just a random thing. Nimejitoa.
So I found that very interesting. And now our main question is, does the court have consider mental health of an accused person in a criminal trial? Yes. So I found a very interesting case. There was this case of Republic versus SWN. I guess they couldn't disclose the name. I don't know for what particular reason, because the person is like a fully grown person.
Oh.
But I guess it's just to shield them from the public, because the case was very horrendous. So this woman, she's from Bahati in Nakuru. She killed one of her sons in front of her other son.
Jerry alisema tu the other day tukisoma Animals Cruelty Act. It is a crime kuchinja.
Hatu hatuwezi compare watu na wanyama. But it was a very sad and a very, I don't know how.
That's horrific.
The people who listen to these cases, I don't know how they stomach these situations, because mimi kama nikisoma nilikuwa na shanga how. And then when you are reading the case, she was even talking while she was killing the child. Anaongea, anasema vitu zingine. Anyway, so while she was being sentenced, like during the trial, whoever was her representative presented that she has some sort of underlying mental condition. And now she was, instead of being sentenced to like prison, she was committed to Madhari. She was now committed to, it's called a psychiatric center. And now, as I was reading this case, I was thinking, how can the court factor in mental health without making those people who have committed the crimes escape liability? Because kama for her, she had these conditions. It's like the parents even knew. Sasa, I was thinking, why didn't she like take her medication and do whatever she was supposed to do
to control the situation?
Sasa unaona, by her being committed, is she serving for the wrong that she has done? Is she escaping liability just because she has that underlying condition? Like, kuna a lot of arising matters, because to what extent will the courts consider the mental health as a mitigating factor, and like to what extent will they consider it, and what will be the procedure, what will be the what. But when you look at our legal framework, for example, section 11 and 12 of the penal code, they have provided for insanity. It can be used as a defense. So they have tried to deal with it, but has the matter been dealt with like to a complete to a large extent? Because pia kuna a lot of loopholes hapo ndani. Kuna the issue of where will these tests be taken to prove that you are mentally unstable, ama you are insane. Kuna hizo resources za a public funded hospital, because you know when you do matters privately, you can buy whatever the results you need, but like are there enough resources? Kuna a lot of issues surrounding that particular aspect. So I think I've said enough. So I'd like to ask you guys, what's your opinion on mental health being considered as a factor for people who have committed criminal offenses?
I think before we also engage and give our views, also our viewers and our audience, you'll just give us your view. What do you think about the mental health thing when it comes to those people who are mentally unstable and they tend to commit a crime, and the court says now, and the way Nyiha has formed, are they now escaping the liability by virtue of them being mentally incapacitated or instability or something? But it is a broad topic to broach. However, this is what I have to say. If someone is mentally unstable, I think there are always ways to at least try to suppress the situation. We've seen, once you're diagnosed, kuna those medications that help you control the situation and stuff. And it is always there. No, it is always good if you know you have this condition, and you know if this condition gets out of hand, it might lead you to doing something that is so horrific. It's something that might cause harm not just to you but the family at large. Why can't you just stick to it for the better of those who you love? Because when the animal part of you pops up, it won't know this is my mother, it won't know this is my sibling. It will just lead you to doing something that is so horrific and stuff. So I just urge all those going through depression and other mental health issues, just try to find a way to make it a condition that you can live with it by accommodating others, and by so doing you're sticking to whatever you're prescribed by the doctor and stuff, to make sure at least it is a condition you've accepted, it is here to stay with you, but also accept the fact that there are other ways to use it, there are other ways to use them to, suppress the condition. That's just what I have to say. Tasikiza for more viewers. Jerry, on this you won't be controversial, I guess.
I'm not a controversial person.
You're not.
I just say things that people find controversial. And that, as much as it should be a consideration, it should be made by trained professionals, such a recommendation a person who is claiming to be mentally unwell. Mental health is an issue that has always been there since time immemorial, and we can't erase that. But what we can do is tailor our jurisprudence to the rising number of rapid cases. So if you ask me, there's a way they're supposed to be treated differently. People who are actually found being mentally not okay, they should not be subjected to the same standards as a normal person, because might find umempeleka kamiti lakini yeye anaona nikaa ako US. So that was an extreme example. Maybe only the impact of punishment umempea.
They actually appreciating.
Not appreciating, but it's not. I usually say when a rule doesn't serve its purpose, then there is no need of following it. So if you wanted this to punish or to maybe transform or facilitate that person through their rehabilitation, and it doesn't serve its purpose, then why should you give it in the first place? Maybe even for I'm usually told that person who's not okay atakangi story ya usaidizi, so mandatory help, assistance, they should just be treated not to the same standard as a person who is mentally well.
For them, onangi kama wako na shida, so it's like, I don't have a problem, so what do you mean I need some medication? But
so it should be considered, but under very strict lenses.
I also as we conclude, you're concluding, so I'd like to urge everyone to first of all acknowledge there is this issue, like there are people who have mental illnesses, And because I found kuna people who really make fun of it, they don't take it seriously. They have the hii ni mambo ya wazungu notion. No, hii si mambo ya wazungu, imekuwa ukuna sisi kutoka 1991.
Yeah.
And it might have an adverse effect. People, family, friends, you should, if you have anyone who is suffering, you should really be considerate, supportive, and there for them. And people who also have been diagnosed with the conditions should be liable and play their part. Kama ni you have medication, take your medication, do whatever needs to be done so that you can be able to control the situation, because it's already there with you. So the best you can do is just accept it and do whatever you have to survive. And yes.
Thank you so much, Nyiha, for that. I'll leave it to our audience and also insist if you have any legal concern, any legal issue you'd like us to broach or dive into, feel free to comment, inbox. Most of us, Jerry at Jaga, myself at Colines Mieku on all my platforms. You can always DM me. Jerry, last words for our audience before we call it a day. If you want to give a shout out to anyone.
Love to shout out the most important person in my life. Jerry Amimo George Ambuche. Big up. Thank you for being part of this show.
You need to self-love.
Wishing to see you soon.
Hey, that is powerful.
Nitaenda kujiwatch.
Shangalie.
Yeah.
Adding on Jerry's point, I was telling you leo mchana venye I wake up at 2 a.m. to think about myself. Imagine how iconic is that?
Unajua leo nilikuwa nianze show by saying how Nyiha she's a very, dear to me. Now
mshaanza kufungua roho.
Kuna wakati she just has this unique energy. Kuna wakati nampigia simu.
Oh my God.
Sikia kwanza.
How did you but continue?
Unampigia simu saa 2, she's like, ati I'm preparing for class. Namuuliza class gani? Ati class ya afternoon. Nyiha.
Please, she answers your phone.
No, I can explain it.
But endelea.
I wish that was the case.
It's a privilege. Simwambie mimi nikichukua simu yako hadi kwanza unashtuka.
Hata text akijibu. She's a alinifunza just
stand on business.
Kubali. Ladies will always be ladies.
Anyway, let me shout out to my dad, David, my mom, Magdalene, my brothers, Gabriel, Michael, and nani mwingine? Hakuna mtu mwingine.
Mimi hao wengine wote wenye wamebakisha, all our viewers, our audience. Mimi nawapenda sana. Thank you for the support. You are the motivation behind us. Every day tukikuja hapa tunasema we have to do this for you. The reason as to why we came up with this podcast, especially this time when Kenya needs massive civic education, we really need our youths, and not just youths, everyone, to understand what law entails, hizi vitu ndogo ndogo, so that when you make a decision, you make an informed decision. We are part of that information. Sisi, we are here to inform you matters sharia. So please make sure you always engage with us. Ukikuwa na any topic you want us to dissect, feel free to text us vile nimesema. Apart from that, me nawapenda tu sana. Thank you so much. Keep the subscription going up. Share, comment. My name is Colines Colines Mieku on all my social medias. You can interact with me. It has been a pleasure having this episode. We'll see you again when you see us. You can find our podcast wherever you meet it, especially on our YouTube. Thank you so much and have a lovely time.